Erosion is going whack up in this right now. Look at those baby buttes behind me. They're so freaking cute. I could just eat them or lick them, I guess. I guess that's what geologists are supposed to do. And no, they're not butts. They're buttes. B-U-T-T-E. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Geology in the Face. I'm Jos, and I'm a geologist that works in the mining and environmental industry. And though I haven't been in this industry long, I've learned quite a few interesting and shocking things about our Earth that I want to share with you. So if you're at all interested in environmental disasters, weird nature, or you're just interested to learn more about our Earth, why it looks the way it does, and how it works, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get a face full of geology. So today I'm in the Las Vegas Valley, and we're going to go on a geology walk to explore an old volcano. And no, I'm not talking about the volcano on the Strip. I'm talking about the one directly in front of me. Off in the distance, you can see the dormant volcano now known as Black Mountain. It stands half of its original size due to millions of years of erosion. The last eruption happened approximately 15 million years ago, and today we will be exploring the remnants of that eruption and the many that came before it. Now, we have a wind advisory here in Las Vegas, so it's going to be real windy out there today, and we're also supposed to get a little bit of rain too, so it should be an eventful geology walk, so let's go. Wind advisory? No, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just absolutely pleasant. Very good. Definitely questioning my life decisions a little bit at this moment, but we're going into a canyon, so it should get better. We'll see. Fingers crossed. What I'm currently walking in looks like barren desert, scattered with creosote bushes and big black boulders. Not particularly exciting to the untrained eye, but those big black boulders you see tell an interesting story. The black boulders are dacite, a light gray igneous rock that used to be lava. But how do I know that? First, let's start with the difference between magma and lava. Magma is found beneath Earth's surface where it's incredibly hot, meaning that when it cools and inevitably becomes rock, it takes a long time. Lava is what flows on Earth's surface, and it cools much faster than magma. Why is this important? Well, crystals form as magma or lava cools, and the longer it takes to cool, the bigger those crystals become. So intuitively, we know that dacite used to be lava because its crystals are small. What about this rock? The crystals are large and touch each other. This means that cooling happens slowly, allowing sufficient time for large crystals to grow. If you guessed magma, you're right. Now you might be wondering, or at least I hope you're wondering, why the dacite scattered around this trail looks more black than gray. There's a very special reason for this. It's covered in a thin black layer called desert varnish, which is a combination of iron, clay, and manganese commonly found on desert rocks. Because of its dark color, it so happens to be the perfect canvas. Written in desert varnish, you can often find petroglyphs in places that Native Americans inhabited. This trail is called Petroglyph Gallery, so we will most assuredly see petroglyphs. Now, as we continue down the trail, we see dacite pop up in a variety of forms. For example, here we see dacite break off into these thick sheets that curve and bend. We can see these curves and bends, formerly known as folds, even better here. And here, the dacite sort of has the same structure, except it breaks off in these thin sheets. And lastly, we have this amorphous cluster of dacite that has big rocks and little rocks mixed together. This entire trail is this way,
And as a geologist, I'm asking myself, why does this one rock look so different? Even though I know this is an old lava flow, I kept looking at the rocks and thinking this can't all be dacite. But it is. And I'll tell you why there is so much variation in appearance. The first one that we see, where large rocks are mixed in with smaller rocks, is most likely due to a landslide. At one point, the hillside was one thick sheet of lava. After thousands to millions of years of erosion, chunks of dacite fell off of the main rock layer and tumbled down the hillside in what we call float. Then, something like a landslide must have happened, carrying small rocks, large rocks, and sediment with it. Then it sat, and it stayed for a long time. Enough time for all of that material to lithify into a super rock, called a conglomerate. The other two show the lava as it cooled and flowed in place. The bends that can be seen most likely represent the shape of the topography and the lava being squished against hardened material. It could also be related to tectonic activity. The Las Vegas Valley is littered with faults, causing the geologic record to be all out of whack, and rock beds to sometimes be vertical instead of horizontal. The difference in foliation, or how the rocks are breaking apart, could be due to variations in heterogeneity. So basically, differences in the composition of the dacite results in differences in how it will erode or break apart. Along with differences in form, I also noticed differences in color. We've seen black and gray, but I've also seen bright reds, pinks, browns, and yellow. This wide array of colors is caused by varying concentrations of minerals.
Okay, I'm officially in the actual canyon, and the wind is not terrible. It's actually very, very nice. Thank you, canyon.
Okay, I hope you're ready for things to get crazy. And I mean crazy. Right now, I'm walking on an upturned bed, which is crazy in itself, but no, that's not what I'm talking about. If you could turn your attention to the left, keep turning. There's the upturned bed. Keep going. You're almost there. Stop. Right here. GeologyJos, it's just a pile of rocks. What's so special about it? Well, let me tell you, to a geologist, this is super exciting. And when I tell you I screamed, the scream that I scrumped was concerning probably, especially for being in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, let's get closer. Do you see the hexagonal shapes scattered throughout this rock body? This is called columnar dacite, and it's commonly found in Iceland. But this feature found in Vegas looks a lot different from the columns found in Iceland. Let's go take a quick trip. This canyon, whose name I cannot pronounce, is famous for its columnar basalt, which is very similar to columnar dacite. You can see the columnar basalts right here, and it's the same thing that we're seeing in Vegas, but from a different angle. As you look down on the canyon, you can see the same hexagonal pattern as before. What causes this pattern has to do with how the lava cooled, and it cooled very fast, and most likely had an interaction with water that caused the lava to contract. Water is not always necessary for this process, but it does accentuate it. And I know you're probably ready to move on, but I'm going to hold you hostage for just one more second. Or 30. Probably 60. This red line represents a contact, which is a separation between one rock layer and another rock layer. In yellow, we have the columnar dacite. In green, we have what I'm going to call the Bendy Dite. What this represents is different rates of cooling over the course of a singular or multiple eruptions. This is most likely due to environmental factors.
Okay, that's enough of that. Now watch me almost slip down the steep hill. That doesn't look that steep, but trust me, it is. I was really struggling here, and I was trying to be careful, not only because it's steep and rocks were slipping, but because of rattlesnakes. There are quite a few rattlesnakes in this area, and it was very vegetated here, so I was not wanting to run into one of those guys. Erosion be going whack up in this right now. Look at that. Look at those little baby buttes. They're so cute. Oh my goodness. Baby buttes are so cute. Oh my gosh. If I called buttes the wrong thing, I would be highly upset.
It was in this moment that the geologist realized she did, in fact, call buttes the wrong thing. These are hoodoos, which technically are baby buttes. Hoodoos have more resistant material on top, so they give this mushroom-like appearance. Here we see the hoodoos again with columnar basalt on top of them.
Can I touch that columnar basalt? I want to touch that columnar basalt. Beautiful. Look at it. It's gorgeous. I have spotted the Petroglyphs in the wild. I see them right over there. Let's go take a closer look. When I tell you the hills were covered with petroglyphs, it was like a geological tattoo shop. Close to 400 rock art panels have been identified and show evidence of Middle Archaic, Late Archaic, Puebloan, and late prehistoric occupation. This area, known as the Sloan Petroglyph Site, was listed on the National Register of Historic Places for its archaeological significance, so it's definitely worth a visit. Oh yeah, never mind, the wind is back. OMG. Becky, look. It's a frickin' butte. And yes, this time it is an actual butte, not a hoodoo. You see how the top is not wider than the base? That's a butte. If the top was wider than the base, that's a hoodoo. And at this point, you're probably like, what the heck even is that? You haven't explained. It's basically the last remaining part of a plateau that used to exist after millions and millions of years of erosion. Okay, quiz time. Butte or hoodoo? You know, the part of the hike where you're just like so done, you're quiet, not saying anything, just staring at the ground, not looking at the scenery. The only thing that's on your mind is food, like real food. This is not real food. That's where I am right now. I'm like so ready for this to be done. I spent too much of my time looking at the rocks instead of actually hiking. And that was my fatal flaw. Geology takes a lot out of you. Honestly. I see it. Salvation. I can almost see the parking lot. And this is where Shishi got real windy. You can see all of the dust across the valley. You can barely see the strip from here. And obviously, all of that dust is not great to breathe in, and you shouldn't go on hikes when it's super windy outside, but do as I say, not as I do. I'm wind battered to say the least. That was great. That was good. Time to go home. If you liked that video, make sure you like and subscribe for more geology in the face. I'll catch you next time.